Welcome to Herf Zone Live. I'm here every Tuesday to bring you the best content weekly. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube at it's just search for Team Shirtless Mike and follow on Facebook at Shirtless Mike. Just search that. And you can reach out to me on Instagram at Team Shirtless Mike. See what goes on in my life, and hopefully I can see what goes on in yours. Herf Zone Live is expanding. Get your product in front of hundreds of viewers every single week. Let me advertise your cigar or product to my audience. DM me. Let's exchange information and get you a part of the Team Shirtless Mike team. What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing out there? I'm giving people a few more minutes to get on. We got some people already starting to trickle in here. So I want to thank you for your patience. Thank you guys for tuning in every single week. So last show that we had, there was a week or so without a show. I had some stuff going on, a lot of busyness, family stuff, and all that. So, but we are here. We are back this week, fresh off of the Great Smoke. I met a lot of people who watched the show at the Great Smoke, people that I've met before in the past that I conversate with and seen a bunch of times. So, just wanted to take a quick moment. Thank you guys for your support and all that good stuff. And it was definitely a good time this weekend at the Great Smoke. I was only there for just a day and got there a little after 10 a.m. left at like 8 o'clock at night. Nice little day trip, but I'll definitely be back sometime soon because South Florida it's good to get away from Brevard County. Whole different market, whole different vibe. So yeah, so tonight we have an awesome show lined up. We have Brandon, and Kendrick from Apostate Cigars. I did not forget the name of Apostate Cigars. But yeah, I got Brandon and Kendrick. They're waiting down below. So without further ado, from the Hustler Universe Podcast Network Green Room, where you'll find the Cigar Hustlers podcast and the Chet and Palmer Shit Show, welcome to Herf Zone Live, Brandon and Kendrick from Apostate Cigars. And what's going on, fellas?
Howdy.
What's up?
Nothing much, man. It's a beautiful night. I'm glad it's not cold right now because it was cold this morning. It's warm enough to where I could be shirtless to represent the brand properly. So it's warm enough to where I just heard myself. Kendrick, do you have any AirPods or something? Because I just heard myself briefly, and yeah, it kind of went away. But how are you guys doing tonight? We got Kendrick joining us from the Dominican Republic. And Brandon joining us from Salt Lake City, Utah. So how y'all doing?
Doing awesome.
Fantastic, man. Having a good night. It's not as warm here as it is in Florida, I'm sure.
Most definitely. What's the temperature in Utah?
Right now it's about 36 degrees, my man.
Definitely not
envious. It's 77 degrees here.
Oh, it's like Florida. It's a little bit cooler here in Florida, but it's Florida type climate. So I know you're enjoying that break, Kendrick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, most definitely. And what are you guys smoking tonight?
What do you got there, Ken?
I'm actually smoking a La Galera Imperial Jade that Hochi gave me a few minutes ago. It's an African Cameroon wrapper, and it's delicious.
Delicious indeed. I'm smoking the Liahona. This is our Connecticut.
Nice. And I'm smoking the Deseret. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Deseret. Yeah.
Deseret. In Boston, shouts out to Boston Jimmy from Stogie Press. He lives pretty close to me, and been so busy I haven't been able to get one. So he had some on hand, so I could just swing by after work and get this. So I want to get into you guys' story. I've interacted with Brandon on social media. So you guys are both from Salt Lake City, Utah. You guys have a retail background. Kendrick, you own Beehive in Salt Lake City, Utah. Tell us about just the very beginning. How did you guys meet? And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I've been running the shop for a few years, and had been growing, and got to the point where I needed someone to help me. And Brandon can tell his side of the story, but we met in like, what was it, 2016, something like that.
Early 2016, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And he came on board with me and helped me run my shop, and was the manager of the store for a good while. And here we are now.
Here we are. Yes, sir. Yeah,
All
my
right.
version of the story is the same. Actually, he told it. He told it correctly. None of that was a lie.
Well,
Nice.
that's good. So you guys both from the retail background, you met,
Mm.
and salt. A lot of people don't know, which they're about to find out tonight. But Utah's not very, smoking friendly. Um, from what I was telling Brandon, my brother used to live in Salt Lake City. He's been to Beehive before, and you guys have to do things a different way in order to, be able to have a lounge. But tell us about what it's like cigar culture in Salt Lake City, Utah. I mean, you guys are the only shop, right?
No.
There are a few. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say there are a couple other good shops in town. Um, but the cigar culture in Utah is small but very strong. The community of cigar smokers that we have is very, very tight, very loyal, and just a great group of folks out there. That's the best part about this business for me is that aspect of it.
Yeah, the Utah lifestyle makes it pretty difficult to be a cigar smoker in the first place. So I think that caters to an audience that's a little more serious about it. So if you're gonna be a cigar smoker in Utah, you got to do it for real. You got to do it on purpose. And so we're lucky enough to hang out with folks that are as passionate as we are.
Nice. Now, how did you each individually get in cigars, into cigars as consumers originally?
Brandon?
So mine was actually just sort of random. I had been having this was oh man 10 or 11 years ago, having conversations with my wife. We met when we both worked at UPS, and so we were both doing the corporate thing. I I moved from UPS to Netflix, another corporate thing, and just was looking for a hobby, looking for something to kind of like be my deal. And I came across the Cigar Aficionado magazine and just picked it up and thought it looked cool. I went home and started kind of talking to my wife about it. She took the initiative and ordered me a pack of cigars and a humidor on the internet for my birthday. And I'm pretty sure she thought it was just going to be like a novelty for me, oh, hey, thanks for the cigars, nothing crazy. And it turned into something that I quickly became very nerdy about. And when I go full nerd, I want to know all about it. So I dove in and, I was watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, reading magazine articles, stuff like that. And just really went full bore nerd and became a pretty enthusiastic cigar smoker. From there, that was when I was transitioning out of the corporate world, trying to figure out, you know, what I was going to do to put bread on the table, but not hate my job every day. And that was when, in 2016, I reached out to Kendrick, and he was kind enough to hire me. So it was a good, I would say, 5 or 6 years as a pretty passionate cigar hobbyist before I got into the industry side.
Nice.
And for me, it's the exact opposite, really. I'd smoked two cigars in my life before I got into the business, and had to learn very quickly uh, what it was all about. I'd always been drawn to cigars from the time I was a little kid. Um, watching movies and things. I remember going on a cruise when I was a teenager and going to this marketplace that had cigars and just seeing them in person for the first time. I just knew that it was something that someday I was going to smoke one of those things.
Heck yeah.
And and so kind of went all in on it. So
Nice. Now that you guys started Apostate Cigars in 2020, and you guys are from Salt Lake City. Did you guys grow up in Mormonism? Is that like part of the whole concept? Like, tell us like that story, like about growing up in Mormonism and just your experiences with that, and then how you tied it into the branding.
Yeah, so Brandon and I both grew up members of the Mormon Church, and smoking is a big no-no in Mormonism. They won't let you be a full member, full fellowship member if you partake in tobacco. So it's a big no-no, and anybody that goes against the teachings is known as an apostate, right? So after we left that part of things, and when it came time to start our own brand, the common ground that Brandon and I shared was this story of growing up in this system and kind of taking what was valuable for us and kind of leaving behind what wasn't serving us. And so the name Apostate Cigars just seemed to fit perfectly, given that we are apostates essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're not a full member of the faith, I mean, if that's what they're going to call you, we figured, lean in. If that's what they're going to call us, let's go.
Yeah, most definitely.
Mm.
So you grew up in Mormonism. Now, so was that for your whole? That was your whole life, then, just growing up in Mormonism and everything. Now, that makes you an apostate and everything. But do you have any family that because you hear about people that leave the Mormon Church and everything, and some there's also there's extremists within it and there and all that. But were you guys a part of that extreme side or no?
No, man, it was
No.
pretty daily. I mean, that's the thing, like you said, like our whole lives. It really was like not just our whole lives, it is like every part of your life. When you grow up in Utah, that's what the community looks like. Everybody's Mormon, everybody you go to school with, your neighbors. That's your community. So it really did permeate every facet of both our lives. Uh, Luckily, he and I have pretty parallel experiences, and we both come from families who are very accepting, very open-minded, not so much the extremist side, more of your average Joe, your regular Mormon, faithful but not crazy, right? So they were
Yeah.
very supportive of me when I left the church. It was a hard conversation to have, obviously, and when you leave, that's your community, right? So I lost my community, but I didn't lose my family, so that was good. I'm
Yeah.
sure Kendrick feels the same way.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of people that fare a lot worse when it comes to the decision
Hmm.
that we made. Hmm. Yeah.
Most definitely. Now, you started the brand in 2020 and you got, a good amount of blend. I try to keep count of them. So I'm just going to name them each and then just tell me about each one, after I go through the whole list. But, the first one's the Initiary, Apostate number 1. It's a 6x52 Toro. The Deseret, which is what I'm smoking now. The Apostate number 2, the 55x25x54 Robusto. The Leahona, which is what Brandon's smoking. The number 3 is the Torpedo. And the Feathered Serpent Apostate number 4, the Corona Gorda. Is that stuff that's coming? It's on your website. It says it's coming soon. Or is that just the information coming
And
soon?
the website is coming soon.
Oh, okay. So the Feathered
Yeah,
Serpent, the
The
sort of,
website
website's
has
been
been
under construction for 2 years.
the
yeah.
website has been coming soon for a long time.
Yeah, for a
Okay,
minute.
but
Yeah.
yes, I just wanted to make sure because I smoked a lot of the blend, so just getting familiar with it. So the Feathered Serpent, which is the Corona Gorda, the sort of Laban, the Apostate number 5, the Zara Helma, Apostate number 6. So I mean, you just you have the Zara Helma. I'm trying to pronounce these. I don't want to like insult y'all.
You're doing pretty
No,
good.
you're
Yeah.
you're doing great, dude.
Maroni's
Yeah.
Trumpet and the Endowment.
Mhm.
Are all cigars in your lineup and stuff like that. So that's a total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blends that you have and everything. Um, did you immediately want to start off with that many blends, or like what was that process like upon starting the company? What were your first couple blends, and then how did that progress from there?
So all of it was conceived from the beginning. We have one blend for each one of the letters in the name Apostate,
Okay.
and each one of the blends is tied to one of the symbols that make up our logo. Um, and so right from the very beginning, we're like, okay, we're going to do 8 blends. We started with 3 upon the brand launch. We did the Initiatory, the Deseret, and the Liahona. All 3 very different blends, one size per blend. And then the plan was to continue releasing new blends as time went on. And so last year we launched the 4th blend, which was the Feathered Serpent. And this year we're going to be releasing the Zarahemla and the Sword of Laban at PCA in July. And that's why I'm here in the Dominican Republic right now, just kind of wrapping up that project to make sure that we're on time for that launch. And
Nice.
then the following, the remaining 2 blends will be coming out next year.
Okay.
And I'll let Brandon tell you about each of the blends if you're
Yeah.
interested. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, sure. I know a little about them. Yeah.
Yeah, you sure do. You were
I know a
there.
little. I was there. I saw. I was in the room where it happened. So the initiatory, we wanted obviously initiation, the beginning. The initiatory is a very straightforward Habano. Our spin on things, we like to add a little bit of flavor over the traditional blending style. So we're not blending for strength. We're using a lot of really good Dominican tobacco. In the beginning, we followed Ho Chi's lead really strongly. Before we started to branch out and kind of identify our blends with our own flair and our own blending style. So the initiatory is a very straightforward take. It's a Sumatra wrapper from Ecuador, Mexican San Andres binder, and then all Dominican on the filler. So it's I'd put it in a medium plus. A lot of rich cedar notes, a little bit of sweetness, exactly what you would expect out of a Sumatra wrapped Habano. The Deseret that you're smoking is a San Andres wrapper. Then we got a Dominican Piloto binder, and then you've got filler from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic, from two regions that grow tobacco a little sweeter. So you've got Jacagua in the DR and Jalapa in Nicaragua that are both a little bit better producing tobacco that's on the sweeter end of the spectrum. And we
Yeah.
wanted that cigar to be really rich, more of like a dessert profile. And you're probably at a point in your cigar where you're starting to pick up that sweetness
Yeah, I
and
was about
taste
to
those
say
notes.
without interrupting you, like I'm getting that
Mhm,
sweetness out of it,
mhm.
and I mean it's really good. And after smoking some of your other blends, like I noticed like a lot of stuff's not on the super strong side. This is probably going to be the strongest one, and I
Yeah,
smoke a lot of cigars a day, so it's not like I feel it in my body like that. But
right.
it doesn't like make give me a head rush or nothing like that. But this seems like this is going to be your strongest blend. Am I correct?
So far, yeah, so far for what's out now. Kendrick and I kind of were selfish when we were blending. We like to smoke, man. We smoke a lot. I'm maybe 5, 6 cigars a day. Kendrick's a few, 3 or 4 a day. We want to be able to keep smoking, and if you're blending a really strong cigar, you're gonna hit a wall.
Yeah.
And I hate hitting the wall. I like to put a cigar down, give it 10 minutes, and go again. So blending that way, we know that's going to cater to other customers who have the same habits as us. But it's also nice if you're a first timer, you want to finish the whole thing and not get green and go run to the bathroom and throw up. You know what I mean? We're trying to
Yeah.
take it easy on you strength wise so that you can really focus on the flavor and the experience of smoking a cigar. So, and then number 3 is the one that I'm smoking right now, probably our mildest. It's the Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, and then we revisited the San Andres for the binder, and then we have filler from the DR and Paraguay
Paraguay.
is the name of the country. Paraguay. That adds a really rich buttery note to the finish. So it's a Connecticut. It's approachable. It's still smooth and mild, but with the binder and the combination of fillers we used, we feel it's really really flavorful. It's got a lot of complexity to it that I'm not used to finding in a Connecticut, and that was kind of the goal when we blended it. Number four, the Feathered Serpent, is our Candela, which is a really interesting cigar. Initially, Hochi, who's in the office next to Kendrick right there right now, he didn't. He wasn't a fan of the idea of us blending a Candela because he doesn't like Candela. So
Yeah.
we told him, hey, just let us mess around. We'll see if we can come up with something good. If you like it, we'll roll. If you don't like it, we'll scrap it. We'll move on. We won't do it. We ended up blending a really good Candela with what he had available, which wasn't much, just as sort of a test blend. When it came to him trying it, he really enjoyed it. He didn't have enough Candela wrapper to actually do a production. So he ended up growing some Candela for us. So the wrapper on that cigar is a Dominican seed Corojo Candela wrapper, which is unique. And then it's got a San Andres binder and then all Dominican filler. So that one's not super strong. It's just a step above the Connecticut. But as far as Candelas go, it's not that fresh cut grass kind
Yeah.
of verdant note. It's more of like it reminds me of like a green tea, like a green tea matcha with a little bit of cream in there,
Yeah.
smooth, flavorful. It can be one dimensional, but I like that dimension. You know what I mean? It's a good dimension to stick to. So it's a very flavorful cigar. And then number five that we just finished blending and Kendrick's down there working on right now, it's called the Sword of Laban. That's our first Churchill. It's 7.25 by 47 ring gauge. So we've got a Corojo wrapper from Ecuador. We went with the San Andres binder on that one again, and then Dominican filler. And then that one's going to be medium plus. It's about the same strength wise as the Initiatory. So it's kind of a Habano style again, but a little sweeter, a lot sweeter. It's got a lot of Corojo in it. So that one we're looking forward to releasing in July. And then number six, the Zarahemla, is we're trying a box press. So it's a box press, just about a Toro, 54 ring gauge. That one, so far for me, that's our strongest blend for sure, but it's our most, as far as flavor profile goes, it excites me the most because it's very unique. We used a Pennsylvania broadleaf wrapper and a Cameroon binder, and then the San Andres and Dominican filler. So
Oh,
that
nice.
one is, I'm really looking forward to that one hitting the market and seeing how people like it. It's super flavorful. And then, we haven't blended the other two yet, so we're excited to get down there and get back in the lab and mess around.
Heck yeah. Now, Kendrick, you're currently at the factory, and we're gonna get on. I have one question, but before I ask that question, do you guys go down together a lot, or about how many times a year do you go down to the factory?
Uh, yeah, we come down together a lot, especially when we're going to be doing the blending. Um, but when it comes to just busy work and stuff, I'll just come down maybe once a year just to um, take care of just some busy work business kind of stuff. Um, and so this is probably my sixth trip down here in the last 2 years, something like that.
I think seven.
So oh shit, has it been that much? I think
Mm-hmm.
you're right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
come here a lot. Yeah.
Nice.
This business is very people oriented, not only on the consumer end with the smoking part of it, but the back end of it is also very people oriented, and it's about building and maintaining relationships with
Hmm.
the manufacturers, the rollers, the people that are here working, making our cigars, the people that are doing the design work for our labels and making our boxes and on all that stuff.
That was
Heck
part of the
yeah.
appeal for me too. When we launched the brand, we decided early on that we wanted to be very hands-on. We're not gonna call up Hochi and say, "Hey, here's what we're thinking. Send us samples." We're in the room. We're blending. We're picking the tobacco. We're tasting every leaf. We're doing the stuff. And when it comes time to overseeing production, we're in the room where they're rolling it. We're walking the farm. Um, we got to maintain those relationships. It's not something we want to do over the phone. I don't feel like the quality would be what it is if we were hands off that way.
Yeah, most definitely. And there's only so much that you can do with telling somebody like, "Oh, this is what I want," and then receiving cigars in the mail. I
Right.
mean, you you obviously got to smoke them at the
Yeah.
factory and bring them home. Because
Hmm.
they say the flavor profile changes a lot of times. Because
Oh yeah.
you're in one environment to the other. Like, I mean, I know it's a lengthy process, so. Kendrick, you being down there at the factory right now, though. So, what's your like? What does a day in the life of Kendrick look like when you're down there supervising what's going on? Working on the new stuff and all that. Like, give everybody out there like a snapshot of what you go through.
It depends on the day. Today was just a lot of running around. I got to the factory pretty early this morning, about 9 o'clock, and just had conversations with Ho Chi about stuff that we were planning, stuff that we want to do. And then they kind of get those wheels spinning. And then it was off to the label factory to check on the production for our cigar bands, meeting with them over there. And then I had to go to the box factory, pick up some samples of some stuff. And then I got to go to that I have to drop off at another place tomorrow. Um, and I'm not going to lie, sometimes Ho Chi pulls out the rum and it ends up being a party. So
Sometimes on a Wednesday when you got to blend a cigar the next day. Yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, it's honestly, it doesn't feel like work so much when I'm here. It's just hanging out and talking about, you know, scheming and getting the cogs turning. So
Yeah, life is different on the island, man. You're getting shit done, but it's far more laid back. Everyone's really good at what they do, so there's not a lot of hiccups. I mean, hiccups happen, but it's one of those things where you go down and yeah, you got work to do, but you're also really looking forward to partaking in the culture and enjoying the food and letting Ho Chi try to get you drunk on a Tuesday. It's like it's fun, man. It's a it's a good way to get paid, I guess.
Heck yeah. I mean, as long as the cigars turn out good, I mean that's all that matters, right?
we're 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 doing our best for you, absolutely.
Yeah, most
yeah,
definitely.
these guys down here are the best, and so the cigars always turn out really
Oh
well.
yeah. So how did you guys, hook up with Hochi? Like, you have all these options with, you could choose whatever factory, to work with. Why the Dominican Republic and why work with Hochi?
We met Ho Chi through doing the retail side of things, carrying Ho Chi's brand La Galera, and we just developed a friendship with Ho Chi just through carrying La Galera at Beehive. And when we decided, that we wanted to launch a brand, the guy at the top of the list was Ho Chi for a number of reasons. Is it time to go? No. Okay. Tomorrow? Okay.
His ride's leaving.
Okay.
We're live from a factory right now.
Okay. All right.
That was
I gotta
Ho-Chi.
go out. I gotta move shop here.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll put you down below and then till you give me like a thumbs up or something. But
no, I'm good. I can
are
keep
you
talking.
good? Okay.
Yeah. So, um, anyway, yeah, right at the top of the list because we knew the quality was there, um, and because Ho Chi grows his own tobacco, we knew that the consistency was going to remain from year to year.
Oh, there goes that Dominican Wi-Fi.
Yeah, he left the building, so he's off Wi-Fi. So
Uh,
there you are.
Sorry, go
Welcome
on.
back. No,
All
you
right.
you go ahead.
Oh,
We
okay.
lost you.
Continue on from where the Wi-Fi kicked out. You're good.
All right. Actually, are you giving me a ride? Yeah. Okay.
We lost him. It's cool. I'll pick up where he left off.
Go.
I still can't even make out what he's saying.
Brand.
No. Yeah, he's
Is
gone. Yeah,
is gone. Okay.
they turned off the light switch, so the Wi-Fi is gone. No, so to continue what he was saying is that we knew from carrying La Galera in the shop, we knew that the construction coming out of that factory has always been impeccable. We know Hochi's aging process. His fermentation is impeccable. So it's just one of those things where like we knew if we were gonna do it, we wanted to do it the right way and going old school with Hochi and his processes. And I mean the tobacco in the cigar you're smoking, that filler is all 5 years old before it sees the rolling room. You know what I mean? So it's like with ingredients that good, you almost have to try on purpose to mess it up, right? So
Yeah.
it's it was an easy choice for us to have a conversation with Hochi. And luckily we had developed enough of a rapport and enough of a friendship with him that when we sat down across the table from him and told him what we wanted to do, he was excited. He was all in. So we feel pretty lucky that he said yes. We weren't expecting it to just be a yes right out of the gate. We thought maybe we'd have to wear him down a little bit. You know, he went for it. So we started blending that same day.
Nice. Nice. I gotta take a quick break to shout out my sponsor, so just hold tight right there. I'm gonna put the logo up on the screen and give them a shout out, and we're just gonna talk the rest of the time. And I got more stuff that just pops in my head. So,
Sweet.
so yeah, everyone. So I'm just gonna shout them out real quick. So, Herf Zone Live is sponsored by Nomos Cigars, rated 91 in Cigars and Spirits magazine. Nomos is a full-bodied 6x56 cigar that features a rich, full flavor accomplished with a high-quality construction and exclusive aging process. Once the fine cigar is born, it immediately begins our exclusive Nomos Aging Process nap. While each cigar naps, it continues to develop its unique aroma and flavor that sets itself apart from any other cigar the world over. It is a delicious medium smoke resulting from the finely aged Cameroon wrapper and blend of 8-year-old seco Dominican filler and 5-year-old Nicaragua criollo filler. The Indonesian Sumatran binder finishes the cigar ingredients with the finest quality tobacco available. This exclusive blend provides a beautiful smoke right down to the last nub. Check out nomoscigars.com for info on where to find retailers that carry Nomos cigars. Orders also available on their website. Also follow them on Instagram at Nomos Cigars. So now we got that out of the way. I'm actually going to be with my sponsors at PCA this year for the very first time. So I had a
Hell yeah,
couple of
PCA is fun. Yeah, dude.
I had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and they wanted me to be there just to, because I know a lot of people, and I just have not had a chance to officially go to PCA, but I could go with whatever capacity now because not
That's
only
so
am I
cool.
not only am I personality, but I work for the shop. Although my boss has said he's not planning on going, or he doesn't know, so I'll just go
Just
in
tell him
that
to send you with the
capacity.
credit card. It's all good.
I don't think he'll trust me because I mean, he trusts me, but I haven't reached that point yet. But
I
uh,
get it. I get it.
yeah, so I'm gonna be with my guys from Nomos Cigars. Just helping them gain connections that I've built and everything like that to help them out, and just
Networking,
attract
man.
just
Yeah.
attract attention. And they said they want me to be shirtless, so I might just try to get explicit permission because they see shirtless Mike. They'll just see a guy that's shirtless at the booth.
I
Everybody's
mean,
coming up there. Everybody's coming
yeah,
there.
dude.
So
That's your brand, bro. You got to do it.
yeah, I mean, I already have explicit permission from Abe at Smoke Inn, so
There
that
you go.
when I go to the Great Smoking, even when I just go to one of their shops, like the Boynton or West Palm store, like I'm good. Like people ain't gonna say shit to me, man. Like I run Florida at this point. So,
I love it. I love it.
but yeah, so we were talking about your relationship and with Hochi and everything, and the Dominican Republic. Do you do, Eventually, are you guys going to want to branch out and work with another factory in a different country, just on something special, or are you just going to stick with
100%.
the same factory?
No, man, we want to use the creativity that we have available to us, right? We would be insane to not want to branch out. We've already spoken with Hochi, and he's been gracious enough to commit to a few other projects that are outside of our 8 core blends. So he's going to do our 8 core cigars. That's Hochi all day. But when it comes to the other stuff, the extra stuff, right? Event only, shop exclusive, limited edition, all that fun, creative loosening. We definitely want to explore our options and find out what other tobaccos available to us and see how creative we can get for sure.
Most definitely. Now, is it just you and Kendrick running everything, or do you guys have any brokers or any reps on the road currently? Or
No, man. It's a 2-man show right now. Kendrick is mostly doing the ops stuff. Full credit, Kendrick is the creative mind behind, the branding and the logo and kind of our ideas for how we're going to tie it into our history. I'm obviously contributing to that, but Kendrick is kind of grabbing the helm there. So he does the operations stuff. He's paying the taxes and shit. I'm the sales guy. I'm the one on the road. Um, I'm the one meeting face to face with the retailers, trying to tell them who we are, what we're about, get them to try our stuff. Spending most of my time either behind the wheel in my car or on the phone. So right now it's just 2 of us. Obviously, as the company grows and the retailer accounts stack up, that's probably going to get overwhelming and we'll need help. Brokers, maybe in-house sales folks, stuff like that. But we're still at a point where I'm managing it myself. So there's a lot of good brokers out there, and we'd be lucky to work with any one of them, though. So we're looking forward to a time when that's necessary. Hopefully sooner than later.
yeah, most definitely. And so how many shops do you have a good idea off the top of your head about how many shops y'all have gotten into so far?
Yeah, active accounts with product on the shelf right now. We're at 50 shops, man. So
That's
it's
good.
growing. Yeah, it's growing. We were at the end of the year, we were hovering around the 30 mark, and we've been picking up traction this first quarter a lot. So it's going well. Yeah, people are liking it.
Heck yeah. And one of my viewers, Billy K, he says, is a cigar brick and mortar only? Can you buy online, big retailers, or your store only? How many cigar lines? And well, that last part we've already discussed that. So
Yeah, so to rehash for them, we have 4 cigars on the market right now. They come in 12 count butcher paper wrapped bundles, or you can buy the singles retail MSRP. You're looking around 12 and a half, depends on the blend and the size. So we only have one size per blend. We're going to stick with that format for the 8 core cigars. It is not exclusive to Beehive. I can make sure that there's a list of retailers available. And right now, since Tinderbox is one of our retailers, you can buy our product from the Tinderbox website. That is probably the best online channel right now. Or you can always reach out to a local retailer in your area. Hell, man, if you've got a favorite brick and mortar shop and they don't carry it yet, let me know because we'll fix that.
heck yeah, there you go. Now, coming from the retail side, I'm sure you could and now you're on the manufacturing side, and you're on the road and stuff. Um, I'm sure you can relate to the retailer. There's lack of shelf space. At times, it's relatively newer brand, very new brand. I mean, what are some of the objections that you face, and how do you try to overcome those objections?
That's a great question, dude. So what you usually run into, and this was true for me on the retail side, it's pretty straightforward on paper, right? A retailer, you sell cigars, your customers buy cigars. I make cigars, so we're all kind of on the same team, right? I make cigars, I sell them to you, you sell them to your customer. Clean cut, good to go. When people get that, it's easy, right? And I've got plenty of retailers who see that connection right away. When a retailer pushes back or maybe isn't interested, it has a lot to do with familiarity, brand awareness, right? Maybe they don't have customers coming in through the door asking for it every day. Maybe they've never heard of me. Really, it just comes down to at some point you don't know me. You don't know who I am, right? So let's fix that. I'm Brandon. I'm the director of sales, co-founder, co-owner of Apostate Cigars. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a cigar. Get to know me. Once you've tried the product and you know me a little better, it's an easy decision to make in my mind. So really the overcoming objections, like you said, shelf space is one. Well, coming from the retail side, we try to solve that problem. Like I said, they come in 12 count bundles. We don't have boxes full of cigars. We have a display tray. It's a very custom, little bit upgraded display tray. It's not just a tray you throw on a shelf. It's very specific for apostate. Right now, it takes up 21 inches of space with our 4 blends. So if I can walk into your humidor and find 21 inches of space, that argument's out the window, right? So then we're just talking back again to familiarity. You don't know me. So once you know me, I'm not an asshole, I swear, right? So at that point, we build a relationship. That's what cigars is. It's building relationships, and once that part's done, like I said, it's hopefully an easy decision to make.
Most definitely, man. And I mean, me be like, as soon as I started working at the shop I work at, I got inundated with people that know who I am, that was like,
Right.
sending stuff, and I was just like, it's like overwhelming or whatever. But
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, but I know, you can relate to that coming from the retail side and of things and all that. So I mean, it's
100%.
definitely.
Yeah, man. I mean, because you as a retailer, you have to resolve those doubts for your smokers, right? So let's say you put apostate on your shelf. Now you've got people coming in who've never heard of it, never seen it. You've tried it. You know me. We have a good relationship. Now it's on your shelf. Cool. Why should that customer pick it up? Well, you like good Dominican tobacco? Are you gonna smoke the same thing you've been smoking every day, or you want to branch out? You know what I mean? So it's like you have to resolve doubts for a little while. It's kind of on the retailer to put apostate in somebody's hand for the first time. It's on apostate to make sure that they pick it up a second time, but we've got that part covered.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, once you get a cigar into somebody's hands, if you feel like that they'll enjoy it, I always look at it, if somebody likes to smoke, such and such brand, then
Right.
they like to smoke this and all that. So
Exactly.
if
Exactly.
somebody likes to smoke like, whatever brand, who would like apostate? Like, if you're trying to, I'm trying to word this. If somebody likes this brand, who would like apostate?
So yeah, absolutely. I think if you look at the Dominican manufacturers that are well known for producing cigars that are more focused on flavor than strength, you've got a few to choose from. Um, I'm gonna reach into my bag of boutique manufacturers right now because there's a lot of people who are kind of breaking away from blending towards strength, which was kind of a trend for a few years, to now getting more subtle hints of flavor. So you've got people like Family by Loyalty. You got my boy Alan Sanabria over there doing that. You got Jonas at Blackbird. La Galera, I would still consider boutique, even though it's Hochi and he's the godfather. Uh, I would consider La Galera boutique. So things like that. If you like just good, flavorful Dominican tobacco, Apostate's 100% right for you.
Most definitely. Now, outside of your own brands, like what are you liking to smoke these days?
Man, I'm pretty eclectic. I smoke a lot. I really enjoy Illusione. I love everything that Dion blends. That guy's insane. Obviously, I love Saka. That guy has a palate unlike any other. Smoke a lot of Matt Booth stuff. Smoking Sinistro a lot lately. I don't know if you know James over there at Sinistro, but that dude's a hell of a blender too. So I try to reach for something a little less traditional, but honestly, in a pinch, I'll pick up a Fuente all day too. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah. Now I've been smoking a little bit more Fuente, because I've been trying to push people onto that a little bit more because we just became an Opus X shop again. So
hell
we
yeah.
got some of the stuff that we can now carry, and so got to keep the sales levels up and everything. And
Yeah, yeah, you got to
I
keep
mean,
that Opus status, baby.
I mean, Fuente makes a great cigar,
Yeah,
period. And
and has been for a long time. Yeah,
yeah, so it's like it's a
yeah.
no-brainer. You don't know what you want to smoke, just smoke that
Right,
and all
right.
that.
If you're
So
not sure what you're in the mood for, you can always reach for a Fuente, and they have so many options, right? For me, it depends on time of day. It depends on whether I've eaten it or not. It depends on how much sleep I got the night before. You know what I mean? It could be anything that'll lead me to reach for a particular cigar. But I usually smoke according to like something I already have in mind. I don't. It's rare that I walk to my humidor and don't know what I'm after. So
Yeah, most definitely. And outside of owning a brand and everything, are you a collector? Do you have like a huge stockpile of cigars, or
Yeah,
um,
I do. I do. Yeah, and that
people are?
started, obviously that started on the retail side, right? When you're in the retail game, you just accrue cigars. They just show up, right? Especially after you make a couple of trips to PCA, things like that. You get stuff that really turns you on to something you want to have around all the time. So yeah, I have obviously your traditional, wooden humidors. I've got a couple of those, but I've got for boxes and more bulk stuff. I've got a big camping cooler in my man cave at home that's stuffed full. So I've got quite a few. I don't have as many as I would, I think, if I were still on the retail side because I smoke my brand more than anything else.
Yeah.
Um, but I do love to collect unique cigars. I got some stuff that I may never smoke just because I like having it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I always fall on the opposite spectrum because I'm always, I never really cared about collecting cigars like that. I smoke
Right,
cigars. I smoke 5 to 7 cigars a day,
right,
and before
right.
I started working at a shop, then I was, I was damn near broke all the time because I was buying a shit ton
Yeah,
of
dude.
cigars. Now it's a little
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
great discount and everything, but
Right.
um, one thing that always surprises people because they ask, what my cigar collect. I don't have a cigar collection. I literally buy like as I go, and just keep shit in
Mm.
my travel case, keep a bulb
Uh-huh.
in there because
Yeah.
it
Yep.
doesn't last long enough for me to
No,
collect
you
it.
can't.
Like,
Yeah, you can't take it with you, right? And that's to be clear. My collection is not a collection for the sake of having it. There are a couple unicorns in there that I don't know when I'll smoke, but for the most part, everything I have, it's for the intent of smoking. I love cigars. I'll I'll always love cigars. I will smoke them a lot. So everything I have is gonna be set on fire for sure.
most definitely. I started building a stockpile one time. Okay, it was like took me a little bit to do, and I was trying to smoke a little less and everything, and then had a good amount of cigar. I forget how many, but it was a smaller coolador
Right,
situation.
right.
And then there was a job that I had that I got fired from, and I was like a month of not having a job, so I smoked through my stockpile in
Yeah,
that
dude,
month.
that's what it's for. Yeah.
And after that, I was just like, you know what, I I give up on trying to maintain a
Yeah.
stockpile. Like literally, that cooler is empty. It's got a bunch of stickers on.
Right.
I'll never get rid of it. It's got a bunch of stickers on it, and all that. But,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, cigars ain't a problem at this point. So it's like,
No.
even though I
No.
don't have a gigantic collection, I always freaking have cigars. So I
Yeah,
don't
and
worry
that's
about it.
I'm on the manufacturing side for me, it's like I don't want you spending your hard-earned dollars on something that you're going to put on a shelf and not think about or just have to have it, right? I want you to buy Apostate with the intent to have an experience with your friends or whoever. I want you to set that shit on fire and enjoy it. Nobody needs to stockpile it. Like, you can't take it with you when you die, right? So just go, just smoke it, enjoy it.
Yeah, most definitely. And I'll change the subject here because I wanted to dig into this a little bit more. You talked about, I think it was before the show. You hit Florida and everything, and you visited some shops specifically for Florida because I got a pretty large following here in my home state. What are
Hell
some
yeah.
shops that have brought in? I know Don Kiki and Daytona because that's where I got a
Hmm.
little
Hmm.
sampler from, and I got the lighter and everything. Although my lighter's in the car, that's like my car lighter. But the option was a lighter or a shirt, and I'm like, I'm shirtless, Mike. I can't take the
Yeah, you
shirt.
can't. Don't waste your time on a shirt, homie. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what are some other shops other than Don Kiki carries Apostate? Shouts
Yeah,
out
so you
to
got Karen's shop in Daytona. Shout out to them. Karen's been a huge supporter since day one. She told me right from the beginning, I don't care how many you send me, just send me the stuff I want it. So that was cool. The biggest one for me right now is probably Island Girl in Jacksonville. Um,
okay. And
man,
and
Cindy
and and,
Cindy
and
over there is
all the shops are just one.
just the one on Gate right now. But they're killing it, man. I've been talking to a lot of retailers in Florida though. So Florida is about to be probably my second most prominent territory for carrying Apostate outside of Washington State. I got a lot of love in Washington State too. So,
Washington State. Let me tell you about
hmm
Washington State because my dad lives out there. So
yes,
I
sir.
was out there in 2016 for a summer helping him with my grandfather who had dementia. My dad injured himself, so he couldn't get up and down all the stairs in his house. So I had to be the one to primarily care for my grandfather. So, outside of Seattle area, because my dad lived in Edmonds, which was close to
Right.
it was close to Linwood, and I know Stogies and Hops was a place that I went to, although it's since closed,
Yeah.
unfortunately, from what I hear. But that was an awesome place. I met some awesome people out there. People that go to
Mm.
Stogie Joe's or
Yeah,
Smoky Joe's,
Smoky
not Stogie.
Joe's. You got Thunderbird down in the Olympia Lacey area. You got Big Daddy's. You got Brown and Sons. We got FK Kirsten. Man, there's shops all over Washington State.
See, that's
And
another state that's hard to be a cigar smoker, but like you have to travel a little bit if you want to go to
yeah,
inside. But there's some hardcore people out there.
yeah, you drive 30 minutes outside of Seattle and you're on tribal land, right? And all those
Yeah,
tribal spots, you walk right in and smoke. You're not paying the taxes. It's kind of ideal. So they support us pretty hard out there, and I love going up there doing events. I'm up there a few times a year, and I'll always look for an excuse to get up there.
yeah, most definitely. It's been a while since because last time I went, I didn't really hit any shops or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
next time I go up that way, I'm definitely planning on visiting, the old haunts
Yeah,
and everything, and
yeah, dude.
because there's a lot of good people out there, and I know people know who I am out there because I was sitting at
Right.
Stogies and Hops, and I was sitting there talking to somebody, and then they was like, "Oh, you're shirtless, Mike."
I love it. I love it. Yeah, dude. It's like you said, like Utah. It's not cigar friendly, in the non-reservation areas, but it is full of nerdy cigar supporters. Absolutely, it's a good community out there.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Well, I appreciate you for coming on the show tonight. It's almost at
Hell
the
yeah.
hour mark. That hour went pretty quick.
Yeah, it did.
Shouts out to Kendrick. I know the Dominican Wi-Fi. Turn off the light and the Wi-Fi went out.
Wherever he is right now. Yeah,
So I want to
yeah,
give a personal shout out to Kendrick, and I appreciate you for making an appearance and all that. And it was just a good time. So everyone out
yeah,
there though, for everyone out there though, what's your social media? Shout out your social media so they
yeah.
can follow you and what you guys got going on and all that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward on Facebook. You search for Apostate Cigars, you'll find us. Instagram, it's at Apostate Cigars. My handle is Brandon the Apostate. Kendrick's is Kendrick Wolstenhume. So you'll find us. We're pretty active. We're more.
Hey,
Hey, there's Kendrick.
I'm
Hey,
back.
look who's back. Hey, we're just shouting out the social media. The hour's up. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I figured. I just wanted to drop in and apologize for my dropout.
Oh, no, no problem, no problem.
And he's gone again.
Got again. Okay, I'm not gonna put. There he goes.
Tell him your Instagram handle, bro.
Kendrick ZW or just Kendrick ZW. Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, man, I appreciate you guys for coming on the show tonight. Hopefully, some more people, discovered this and discovered your brand. Next time I'm in Daytona, I'm gonna get some more apostate and
There you go.
all that because I don't live far from Daytona. I'm like an hour away, so I got to
There
make
you
a
go.
little
Well, I
trip up
mean,
there.
you work at a shop, so tell your boy to call me. You got it.
Man, listen, the amount of people I've had. Like, next time you come to Florida, just make a drop by, and you're just gonna have to
Deal.
like corner my boss.
Deal. That's
And
fine. I'll corner him.
and
It's all
actually
good.
he's actually been talking about expanding the humidor. So once that happens,
Boom.
we'll have like enough room for like 250 more facings. So
There you go. Hell
you know,
yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things with curating a humidor. Like, I have some influence within the shop, but at the same time, like, it doesn't always happen right away. Like,
I
my
get it.
influence isn't like band hammer where it's just there. I say something, it's like gold. Doesn't happen like that, but when he does finally bring something in, it usually ends up selling pretty well. So
Yeah, you got to be deliberate, man. Being on the buying side myself, I understand how it goes. You want to bring in everything, but you also have to pay attention to what your customers want and what makes sense for the shop. So I get it, man. But
yeah,
tell
but
them I'll
next time
come
you're
in
in
on.
Florida, you got to check in with shirtless Mike.
Hell yeah, I'll come light a cigar for him and everything.
Most definitely. I'll definitely let them know. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys and everybody that's tuned in tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. If this is your first time and you just check this out via YouTube, or even if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you hit that subscribe button. After I had Saka on the show, my subscribers on YouTube went up quite a bit. So
I bet. Yeah.
make sure you hit that subscribe button and check out Apostate Cigars. And I'll let you guys know when we're not live so we can talk that